It's time to ring in the new year and take a fond look back at the old on the Best of About Towne 2019. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to our annual recap of our favorite stories of the year. Fans of all things spicy flocked to Zest Fest at the Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas for the 9th year in a row. Susan Stevens was there to see just how hot it got.
Can you take the heat?
Oh, I need it hot. My mouth's on fire right now. I tried the XXX Birdman, and it's incredible.
That one is affecting the tip of my tongue and right in here in my throat.
The Irving Convention Center hosted the 9th annual Zest Fest.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the show. I'm excited to introduce everybody to Yellowbird and just have all the spicy food.
It's fun. We buy like a year's worth of hot sauce and barbecue sauce and things, and we get to try all kinds of new flavors that we've never tried before.
Providing samples of some of the hottest spices and sauces.
We kind of have sauces that are consistency of ketchup. So really thick, packed with fresh ingredients. We use carrots as a base for all of our sauces, so that adds a natural sweetness to them. And they range in heat from mild-ish,
really good flavor,
to ghost pepper spicy.
The spice kind of sneaks up on you just a little bit there.
And if barbecue is more to your liking, the 4-time award-winning J. Lee's Gourmet BBQ sauce had plenty of flavors to choose from.
The kinds we have here today, we have our original, we have our spicy, our sweet heat, and we also got what the world been waiting on, a diabetic-friendly sauce. So even if you don't have diabetes, guess what? You can enjoy this product if you want low sugar.
That's good too. I'm gonna drink this actually.
Zest Fest featured all sorts of different spicy foods, from pickles to cheese. But they pride themselves on bringing unique sauces, including the world's first ever lemon hot sauce.
The limoncello is it's the original lemon sauce. It was just a crazy idea I came up with one day, and it just works wonderful with seafood and fish, chicken, green beans. It goes great with vegetables, and it's so far different from most of the normal sauces.
That's deceivingly, that is so spicy.
Black Lick Spice Company offered all kinds of unusual hot sauce flavors.
This year I've added 2 sauces that are made with cactus pears. So I have a red and green prickly pear sauce, and then last year's champion sauce was the black nocino, which is actually made with green walnuts. So that's an unusual sauce. And I have a hot wasabi, green chili sambal, as well as the traditional hot sauces made with habaneros and scotch bonnets. So something for everyone.
It seemed as though vendors cared more about sauces with the right taste.
It's got to be spicy enough that it impresses me, but also it's got to have some really nice flavor to it. So some really good complex flavor that flows really well together and tastes just wonderful on everything.
I like my hot sauce to have flavor. If it's too hot, it ruins the meal for me.
However, for Zest Fest goers, the hotter, the better.
The heat, it's like a sensation that kind of goes through your entire body. It's really great. Sometimes it's fun to hurt when you eat, and that's what I'm about, just, getting heat in your mouth, and it's worth it.
I mean, sometimes I'm in it for the pain, but
I almost can never remember what happens because I get too spiced out and lose my memory.
And you come back again the next year.
Because I don't remember how awful it was.
But almost everyone can agree, Zest Fest brings together friends and families to add a little more spice to your life. For About Towne, this is Susan Stevens.
Another event that calls Irving home every year is the annual ballet competition, the Youth America Grand Prix. Talented young dancers gathered at the Irving Arts Center to audition for some of the most prestigious companies in the country. Susan Stevens brought us the story.
The competition is getting fierce, as over 300 ballet dancers have gathered at the Irving Arts Center for Youth America Grand Prix.
This is the largest ballet competition in the world, actually, and this is the regional portion of the competition.
We start with pre-competitive, and those kids are between 9 and 11 years old. They're adorable. Many of them are just doing their first solos. The expectations of the parents are great. And then it builds up to the juniors next, and juniors are 12 to 14 years old. and then seniors are 15 to 18, and then we do ensembles.
Students perform their choice of classical or contemporary dances during the course of 4 days. And before going on stage in front of the judges, they participated in master classes to help further their technique.
The training that you get while you're competing, so you compete your solos, but you get to take master classes with these top professionals, and they absolutely they're there to not nitpick the way we do when we're at home in our home studios, but to inspire and to really give the kids a taste of what it is like to be out in the professional world with the true professionals that they are. It's very exciting for the kids.
I think the best thing I've learned is definitely the coaching that we get from our teachers, and it's just a really good opportunity for performing because it's about the love of the art. It's not necessarily about the competition. It's just a good opportunity for us.
The worldwide competition isn't just a great experience, it's also a life-changing opportunity.
Kids who win here are put in front of the top people in New York. So if you win first or second here, you may get invited to the New York finals. And when you do the New York finals, you're in front of a jury of top professionals who run the best schools in the world. And they give scholarships to those schools, not just entry, because it's hard enough even getting into those schools, but then scholarships in addition to that.
Though there's lots of benefits to Grand Prix, it's ultimately about the love of dance.
Dancing kind of gives you like a certain purpose to express yourself. It gives you those opportunities that no other office job is able to give you. It gives you creativity and freedom and all of that.
I love the performing aspect of it. It's like always been a part of my life. It's very therapeutic for me. I've just always enjoyed it. Like I've not known anything else, I guess.
It's better than real life, that's all I can say. It's just when you're on the stage dancing or even in a studio, it one-ups real life.
Dancers shined as they put their all on stage for their big shot. Youth America Grand Prix continues to help kids make the leap from student to professional. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
The name says it all, Irving's Got Talent. It's an annual competition for local teens that certainly lives up to its name. Here's a look at this year's group of talented young singers, dancers, musicians, and more.
Backstage, the talent is practicing, while inside the auditorium, the crowd is getting ready for the annual teen talent competition, Irving's Got Talent.
We're going to have 18 acts tonight. We're going to have a little bit of everything. We're going to have some instrumentalists, some vocalists, and some dancing. I think the community will be very surprised how many talented teens we have here. And it's a great opportunity for them to come see all this hard work they put in, and it's actually a really good show.
The acts range from violin to interpretive dance to stunning vocals to even out-of-the-box performances. Though all the teens were gifted, awards were handed out to the best vocalist, the best pianist, best instrumentalist, and best movement.
And then we will have a People's Choice Award. And to vote for that, it is a text-in vote, and we open the polls at the end of the performance. And everybody in the audience has a chance to text in their vote, and it's tallied backstage, and we award the People's Choice.
The winner for People's Choice Award goes to Abigail Durant.
But the evening is not about the awards. It's about allowing these teenagers the opportunity to showcase their artistic abilities.
It blows me away how much talent we have here in Irving, and every year I really look forward to the experience these kids get to have. I mean, it's a full stage with a tech crew behind them, and it's just a good experience for them.
Congratulations to all of this year's participants for providing the community with yet another unforgettable Irving's Got Talent. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
One of our favorite features on About Town is the Rediscover series, where we visit restaurants at Irving that are still local hotspots after years in the community. One such jewel we visited again in 2019 was Brunos Ristorante in Valley Ranch. Now that's Italian.
A whole Dover sole is being deboned and served tableside to customers.
It's one of the nicest, seafood dishes that we have.
Brunos Ristorante is preparing some of their most flavorful Italian dishes.
Chilean sea bass with a risotto. And then we'll have some shrimp napolitana, which is like a shrimp scampi over bed of linguine. And we'll get a veal piccata or limon, they call it, lemon, white wine, and capers. And then we'll finish it with chicken marsala, which is one of our popular dishes.
Located on MacArthur Boulevard, right by the canals, Brunos is a hidden gem.
We opened up the restaurant 30 years ago on, I believe it was June 11, 1989.
On his way to catch a flight, Bruno had coincidentally discovered the site.
For some reason, I just went by MacArthur, which at that time was only one-lane road, and I liked the place. It reminded me of Venice, of the canal, with the canal view and stuff, and I said, you know, how about if I go ahead and open up a restaurant here?
The view of the canals and intimate setting also makes for a romantic and entertaining dining experience.
A lot of people come down here for their anniversaries, for their birthdays, and also business parties, so it's a great place to come and enjoy and have fun.
The atmosphere is desirable, but customers keep returning for Bruno's hospitality and their mouth-watering food.
Everything is prepared fresh. I mean, we don't have anything done before. When the customer comes, then we try to take care of the best that we can, and then we start the dish from scratch.
Along with their fresh and savory entrees, Bruno's has delicious desserts like tiramisu and flambéed creme brulee. After 30 years in Irving, Bruno is grateful to have his business and home be a part of a city he values.
It's a great place to live, great place to raise families also, and it's like a hidden gem also. It's like between 635 and 121 and 35, so you're like secluded but still close by the airport. It's a great location, and it's been great for me and my family and my kids.
In honor of their 30-year anniversary, you can get 20% off your lunch or dinner from now till the end of December. So, if you have yet to dine there, rediscover Brunos Ristorante's Taste of Italy. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
Irving ISD's visual art program allows even the youngest artists to step into the spotlight as part of the annual Irving ISD exhibition of student art. We met some talented and charming students who are already putting their skills to good use. The annual Irving ISD exhibition of student art kicked off with work from the district's youngest artists. There were lots of reasons to smile. Elementary students from kindergarten through 5th grade loved their art classes this year, and they were proud to say so.
I love to paint with stuff. It's so fun. I really like using paint and chalk pastel.
Their enthusiasm was impressive, and so was how much they learned.
This is the first year I had my 5th graders do embroidery. Transition, mixing colors, gradient.
And then we also learned about the color wheel, so you're going to see lots of bright colors.
Students learned art fundamentals like color, line, and shape as early as kindergarten.
So we have several different pieces of artwork that have different type of textures. So we have a kindergarten piece that involves foil and paint.
Every student had the opportunity to participate, displaying individual artwork.
It's like different colors on the different parts, and one's on the hand part and one's on the outside. It's really pretty like that. Pink is a basic color. Gold is like a really shimmery, smooth, and also like a kind of basic color.
There were also imaginative group projects like this sculpture made by T.J. Lee artists.
Every 3rd grader was able to make one clay fish sculpture, and then after they glazed them, we put them all together to make this giant sculpture.
Farine Elementary got in on the act with collaborative paintings by grade level.
The only rule was that while they could go on top of somebody else's, that they couldn't cover up their original design, so that every student could go to the artwork when it was finished and be able to find what they added.
Projects like these teach teamwork and problem solving, skills learned in art class that can help prepare students for life outside the classroom.
We usually teach 6 of the 8 elements of art so that they have that foundation if they go into art later on.
So, maybe you had an idea and then it messed up, and then it turned into something even better.
What excites me the most is that kids that maybe are having difficulties in school or struggling in other areas, sometimes this is where they can blossom.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting. Irving ISD's program builds skills from elementary school through high school, and the most proficient and talented students compete for prizes at the annual Senior Portfolio Show. Susan Stevens talked with Irving's best graduating artists about how art impacted their lives.
I love art because it gives me a way to express different things that I've gone through, because high school has not been easy for me, as far as my grandparents passed away very close to each other, and so it gave me a way to cope with that and express how I felt about all of that happening.
Art gave high school senior Allison O'Rourke a way to deal with the loss of loved ones. And through encouragement from her teachers, she was also able to add a new element to her artwork.
I started writing poetry as well, and they encouraged me to include that into my artwork. And so a couple of my pieces have poetry in them.
There are many different ways to express yourself through art.
I like art because it allows you to express your emotions without actually having to say how you feel. It's another way of expression.
It's the only thing I'm really able to express myself in. I have a lot of creativity, and so I use that as an outlet. And I can't sing or dance, so next best thing.
Irving ISD students are showcasing their most meaningful pieces from their high school career at the 2019 Senior Portfolios exhibit.
A lot of my art is self-portraits, and last year I did an oil painting, and it was my very first one, and I decided to go big and expressive with it.
It's mostly my self-portraits and my Sharpie, mostly my Sharpie works. I just like drawing anatomy and the body and faces. It interests me.
This year I wanted to pick a theme that I am really into, so I really like horror movies and vintage horror. So a lot of my pieces are centered around aspects of horror, religion or sensuality, stuff like that. Some of the other pieces I didn't put in here, bring in other elements that I really like from horror.
I was really inspired by cool tones, and I wanted to do a lot of portraits. So that's kind of what inspired me to do the blue, green, and black and white.
Students displayed 8 to 10 pieces varying from paintings, drawings, mixed media, and much more.
Photography and digital media, and then we also have some ceramics and sculpture 3D pieces as well.
As these seniors get closer to graduation, it becomes bittersweet, having created a bond through a passion of art.
We just got back from our state event last weekend, and seeing all of those students from Irving, Nimitz, Singley, and MacArthur all bond and get together, that touches my heart.
I'm gonna miss them, yeah, honestly, because we've especially this year we built such a close relationship with each other. Since our class is so small, I think there's only 8 of us. We always make conversation with each other, and so they basically become good friends.
I just feel like a family. I've built a family over the years, and I feel most comfortable there.
And while some students will miss the classroom, others hope to return and give back in the same way teachers rewarded them.
I actually want to become an art teacher, so I'm going to take art education and hopefully teach one day at MacArthur. They all made me feel special whenever I don't think that I'm that special, and so I want to do that to other students.
Through their creativity and expressive art, students showcase another inspiring Senior Portfolios exhibit. For About Towne, this is Susan Stevens.
Now in its 5th year, the North Texas Teen Book Festival attracts book lovers from all over the state and neighboring states to meet their favorite authors and immerse themselves in a day-long read fest. How much fun is that? Sounds like a slice of heaven to me. Here's a look at the 2019 event.
You're 5, it's big.
It's the North Texas Teen Book Festival 5.0, and in a word, it's big.
We've got over 40 panels.
Date for at least a year.
And great authors.
I believe we have 74 authors.
And attendees, lots of them.
Attendance for the festival it's too soon to tell.
Organizers expected over 10,000 attendees. By noon on festival day, they already knew there were thousands more. But it was even easier to see the level of excitement.
Everybody needs to have a green wristband.
These kids were over the moon to meet their favorite authors, discover new favorites, and get their hands on new books.
Speed dating with a book is a really cool program where we take books by our festival authors and we get those books into teens' hands because not all of our teens, they may not have a whole lot of disposable income.
Kids got to learn about new books from area librarians who volunteer at the festival. They each got to select a new book free to start their own personal library. Organizers don't want income to be a barrier for kids who love to read.
So we want to get books in kids' hands, and we want to make sure that the authors who are here are definitely going to have some people in their signing lines as well. So this is a win-win for everybody. Hi, what do you guys want to know about?
The day was full of other opportunities for readers, like the authors panels and publishers events.
Here at NTTBF, our focus is really on our great programming. We've got mystery, we've got romance, we've got graphic novels, middle grade YA, all ages. We also have our publishers with special activities like a breakfast or face painting. And then of course we're gonna have our signing. 1, 2, 3, cheese!
The chance to meet favorite authors has always been a big draw at the North Texas Teen Book Festival. So in honor of Year 5, a new event got authors and teens together at the movies.
We noticed that we have a lot of authors who have been getting some notice in Hollywood.
Authors like Angie Thomas, whose book The Hate You Give was made into a hit movie of the same name, and Becky Albertalli, whose book Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda became the hit film Love, Simon.
Have you seen the new post? About the closeted gay kid at school.
What?
Who do you think it is?
Can I call you back?
Dear Blue, I'm just like you.
We thought, let's do something extra special to celebrate Year 5. So we talked with our friends at Alamo Drafthouse and they said, let's do a film festival. Let's screen these movies for everybody so that we can celebrate books, but also where the books go.
With a record-breaking Educators Day and the addition of the film festival, the North Texas Teen Book Festival is certain to be an even bigger draw next year.
We work with our schools, our teachers, our local public librarians to make sure that they reach out and encourage their teens to come be a part of this because it's just something so special.
The experts agree. This is Kathy Whiteman reporting. The Irving Events team introduced a new festival in the Irving Heritage District that was a hit from the moment it was announced. Here's a look at the inaugural Fall Fest.
The autumn weather has finally arrived, and we're getting lost in all the fun here at the first annual Fall Fest.
It's super fun.
I like it. I've never been to one of these, so it's pretty fun. I love this weather. Fall is personally my favorite season of all of them, you know. I love wearing sweaters.
Thousands of people roam Whistletop Plaza at the City of Irving's first annual Fall Fest.
I love that everyone's here. I love the pumpkin patch. It is so cool. If I was a kid, I'd be in there.
Children decorate pumpkins and walk through the inflatable funhouse. Some kids even attempt the hay maze.
I think the maze is amazing because it's like hay maze, but it smells like horse a little bit.
While others roll with the crowd.
We do have pumpkin bowling, so the pins are set up and they'll be able to take the pumpkins and actually roll the pumpkins into the bowling pins and knock them down.
But the hot commodity here is...
The free candy is amazing because we get a lot of sweets and we get to share it with our people.
You can either win candy from one of the many carnival games or receive it at the trunk or treat.
It's really great because the parents know that they could come and that they're going to get safe candy from the local businesses that are here.
It's a chance to get to know local folks and spend the day with family.
This is what it means to bring a community together, and that is great. because that's the way we know who we are. We get to meet people that probably live right next door and you've never seen them, and then you meet them here, so I think it's wonderful.
Being able to put an event on where people in Irving, outside of Irving, are able to come here and enjoy family time together, it's really important.
Strike a pose with a pumpkin and enjoy all the entertainment at Irving's Fall Fest. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
We made a timely visit to Villa Real last year. The restaurant celebrated its 30th anniversary in 2019. Here's a look at the excellent food and service that has made Villa Real a mainstay for over a generation.
Diced beef tenderloin is sizzling on the skillet as Chef Jesus Alvarez is preparing one of Villa Real's popular meals, Taco de Reyes.
A lot of people don't know that beef tenderloin, Chef gets those huge tenderloins that we make the filet mignons for, and he slices all the 10, 8, and 6 ounce fillets from there. Now everything that doesn't make that, he takes and he dices them up and he makes them into those tacos, right? So he takes the filet mignon meat and sautés in a little ancho chili sauce, put a little pico de gallo in there, wraps it up in a flour tortilla, served with some rice and beans, and then to top it all off, he puts a little bit of chili con queso as well as chili con carne. Makes such a great dish.
Villa Real has been a part of Las Colinas for 30 years. In 1995, Fran Mathers had been dining at the restaurant's original location on Beltline and discovered it was closing.
They had lost their financing, they needed to shut down there, and they only, they still had 3 years on their lease. And on a whim, I bought it.
She eventually moved Villa Real to its successful Las Colinas establishment. They updated the menu and have continued to serve delectable Southwestern cuisine.
You have the Mexican influence, you have a lot of seafood dishes that are served along the coastal regions of Mexico, and you've got some inventive things that Chef Jesus likes to put together because he's really, really good.
Seafood lovers can try Villa Real's signature dish, Chilean sea bass, or the classic shrimp tacos.
They're going to be paired up with like a little spicy aioli sauce, right? A little bit of a slaw on there. The shrimp, we take a lot of pride in all of our food that we get. So everything gets shipped into us daily. We just want to make sure we're serving the best.
If you're looking for a unique twist on a more traditional Tex-Mex dish, try the flavorful smoked tenderloin chimichanga.
We smoke the meat, right? Then dice it up. Then we actually wrap it up in a large flour tortilla, fry it, right? Bring it out, then top it with this chili con carne and chili con queso sauce. It's to die for. It really is.
Pair any of these Southwestern dishes with the refreshing Villa Rita.
It's our signature drink. So that is going to be the Don Julio Reposado, has Cointreau and Grand Marnier, and we just do it with some lime juice, some fresh lime juice. We shake it and we strain it into a martini glass. It's simple, but just really nice little balance between everything. And, one of those will do the job.
Even Fran likes to have just one glass at the end of the night.
And that settles me down and calms the end of the day, which is really kind of nice. So as we're settling down and people are moving out and things are, getting quieter, it gives me a chance to think about what's today and what do we need to do tomorrow. Yeah. So the Villa Rita is medicinal, you understand.
Exactly. From a selection of cocktails to a wide variety of food, it can be hard to choose what to order. Luckily, their Sunday brunch buffet has a great sampling of everything they have to offer.
We ended up introducing migas and chilaquiles, as well as doing some traditional breakfast items as, eggs Benedict and waffles and French toast.
The buffet also includes a variety of lunch items, shrimp cocktail, and bottomless mimosas, all for $28. Villa Real takes pride in their food.
Chef is very picky about the dishes. Everything is prepared fresh from scratch. So if you have any food sensitivities, anything you don't want on the plate, we ask about that ahead of time and we can fix whatever the guest wants.
And they especially take pride in their service.
The servers that we hire are people that we chose because of their personalities. Most of them have been here for a good long period of time, but they love people, and that's the secret. If you love the act of serving people and making them happy, there's no better job than that. And they are very caring. They look at every attention to detail, and they care about the guest experience. So that's our greatest asset.
Rediscover Villa Real's fine dining and relaxing Santa Fe-style ambiance.
This is like an oasis to be able to kind of escape and relax and just really enjoy yourself here.
For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
Mainstage Irving Las Colinas made some big moves in 2019, including a hit production of A Chorus Line in Carpenter Hall.
From the top, 5, 6, 7, 8.
A Chorus Line opened on Broadway in 1975. It won 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical and Best Original Score, and the 1976 Pulitzer Prize for Drama. Mainstage Irving Las Colinas brings an enthralling production of this iconic musical to Carpenter Stage for 2 weeks only. Director Michael Serecchia says you don't have to be a dancer to love this story.
Yes, it's set in a Broadway theater, and yes, it's set about dancers trying to win a spot on a chorus line of a Broadway show. But the universal truth of it is it's about everybody, about anybody who has a dream.
It's a dream Serecchia knows firsthand. He was in the original Broadway cast.
I want your pictures and resumes, please.
That was unreal. From the moment the lights went on, it was beyond stellar. It was transcendent, really. It was. It sounds like corny, but you were lifted out of your body, so we were literally dancing on air.
A few years have passed since Serecchia danced in that phenomenal show, but he's thrilled to step into the role of director for a couple of reasons.
The cast. Definitely the cast. They're magnificent, each and every one of them. And the theater itself, Mainstage Irving, has allowed me to do the show correctly, allowed me to develop it organically with the cast.
Up a steep and very narrow stairway to the voice like a metronome.
The strong ensemble cast includes Christine Phelan as Sheila Bryant.
Oh, Sheila's complicated. She's one of the older chorus members. She never made it out of the chorus. She had hoped to be a star.
Sheila, do me a favor, dance upstage. You, downstage. 5, 6, 7, 8.
She started out wanting to be a ballerina. But at this point in her life, she's not the happiest of people. She's got a little bit of an attitude.
I knew it when I was in the front.
Okay. I'm eliminating down now. When I call out your number, please form a line.
And as the guy in charge, TJ Ferdino portrays Zach.
Number 9, number 10, number 23, Judy Turner. Right.
TJ says this story will definitely resonate with audiences, as it always has.
We're all human beings, so I think no matter whose story you connect with, I think that you can connect with even just the smallest amount of somebody's story up there. And I think that, again, it's been able to do that throughout all time. So, and I think it will continue to do so.
And Michael Serecchia reflects that the universal truth of a chorus line still applies. In the human family, there's a place for everyone.
A society of inclusiveness is the way to nirvana. It's the only way to peace and happiness and well-being. No one should be excluded.
I've got to get this show.
Larry.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Collect the pictures and resumes, please.
Fans of comics, horror, sci-fi, and anime descended on the Irving Convention Center for 3 days of cosplay, celebrities, merchandise, and more. It was Dallas Fan Days, and Susan says it was the place to get your full fangirl or fanboy on.
Heroes?
See, I'm the guy who killed Thanos. Did you kill Thanos? I don't think you killed Thanos. I killed him.
And villains.
I spend a lot of time alone waiting to, get my revenge on the princess.
Are amongst the many attendees at this year's Dallas Fan Days.
There's 200 vendors here this weekend, and it's everything from t-shirts, collectibles, Funko Pops, minifigs, but then Artist Alley is where you find the people that are creating something new or different, everything from inkers and illustrators right through to handcrafters. So we really have a wide range of fandoms represented at the show.
Fans roam the exhibit to look for new merchandise.
Here we have just like the little aliens from Roswell or Star Trek or Star Wars. You see the Spider-Man and Doctor Who, just the various different genres.
My quilts are kind of like a passion, a love, having some issues in life, and they're just very calming. And the joy that you see people have when you hand it to them, it makes everything worth the pain of sticking yourself and bleeding.
And some fans are even looking for love.
Geek Speed Dating is an opportunity for convention goers to interact and sit down and meet other people with similar interests. Sometimes at the after parties, you'll see people who you know met in the sessions. I remember one convention, I think we were in Florida at the time, there was a Captain America and a Wonder Woman who I saw interacting in the session, and I saw them the next day of the con walking around together.
But Joseph Schwindeman has found something he didn't expect. As he experiences what it's like to walk without sight, he gains an understanding for those with disabilities.
Well, it was difficult walking around without being able to see, but the cane helped me a lot.
Heroic Inner Kids is a charity that helps people in need. This exercise is part of their empathy experience.
The empathy experience is intended to give children a chance to experience what it's like to be in the shoes of someone that has a difference. And by giving them that moment to touch something that, is a wheelchair or a white cane or a hearing aid or something that another child might be using in class, it breaks down barriers.
Which is why Dallas Fan Days continues to be a safe space for people to be their true selves and geek out.
I really just like being among people who have the same interests, who are fans of the same stuff I'm fans of.
They're just wonderful people out here. So I've always had great experiences at Fan Days.
So you get a lot of people that maybe in their day-to-day lives just aren't feeling the love on an everyday basis. And so you come here, it is diverse, it is inclusive, and everybody gives high fives to everyone.
For About Towne, this is Susan Stevens.
Irving has a long-standing reputation for helping others through grassroots efforts. One of the longest-standing events helps veterans and our servicemen and women. Here's a look at Unite for Troops 2019.
Wow.
Earlier this year, Irving's Operation Finally Home presented retired U.S. Army Major Eric King with his new house.
This ours.
We love it. Every day we're like, wow.
That act of kindness has inspired Major King to give back through his new organization.
Best What's Next was derived from, packaging all of the services and resources that's everywhere out there and bringing it to one centralized location. So at any time of the day, if you want to know what benefits are available for you, you can go to bestwhatsnext.org.
He is informing veterans about the site at Porter Army Navy's annual Unite for Troops event.
They came together a few years ago when they saw there was a need to provide care packages to our deployed soldiers all over the globe.
In addition to Major King, different vendors have come out to show their support for the troops, including a grand entrance by guests from the Troops of St. George.
So I landed early this morning. I left right at sunrise, and before anybody showed up, and there was an officer was here making sure the area was going to be clear and secured. We cleared everything with the fire department. Everybody knew what was going on. Because typically the first thing that happens is somebody calls 911 and says, "Hey, helicopter just crashed on Irving Boulevard." No, it was planned.
Eric Gruchet doesn't fly alone, as his son rides shotgun.
It was cold.
Is it scary at all?
Not really. It's kind of surprising the first time you do it, looking out of the helicopter without any doors.
It's a flight on a MASH replica helicopter.
It is 477. That's his tail number. And that's the one in the MASH unit as well. That was 477 unit number. So it's as authentic as you can get.
That the organization is raffling off in an effort to raise money for Unite for Troops.
We offer people to buy a ticket for $5, one chance to win, or 5 tickets for $20, and all that 100% goes to Unite for Troops. And if they win, whenever they're ready, they find their way to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum in Addison and get a 20 minutes to a half-hour ride.
They are also raising funds through a paintball shooting booth, as they know the importance behind every package.
It's really important for them when they're away from home to get a package from home or from an organization like this, so that they know that people are thinking of them and that people are appreciating that their sacrifice and what they're doing and where they're at when they can't be with their families.
Unite for Troops has honored veterans and those currently serving for 18 years and will continue to do so.
Today, our national anthem,
To have these type of events and bringing everybody together in one place to be able to mingle with one another, laugh and talk, share their stories, bringing the community together to let us know that we're not forgotten about.
For About Towne, this is Susan Stevens.
Many Helping Hands is a ministry designed to help the homeless one meal at a time. But the meal is only the beginning of the story. They also provide dignity and hope. We visited one of the Thursday night events last February, and we're still applauding their efforts.
Every Thursday, we open up the doors at 4:30. Our people can come in and get coffee, get warmed up or whatever, cool, whatever the season is. When we first started, there was no hot meal, no place for them to get coats or blankets or anything like that. So we started the ministry so we could help meet the needs of Irving homeless.
They named the ministry Many Helping Hands and held their first event in December of 2012. They have fed the homeless every Thursday since. But they provide much more than a meal.
We set up a clothes closet. We have barbers for haircuts. We do Bible study. We have licensed therapists that provide counseling if they need counseling. We have a book lady that gives out books. They love it. We have a needs list lady that takes her specific needs and emails it out to our community.
You can put your basic needs on the needs list. I want a couple of people to throw out to me, what's a basic need? Shoes.
We also give out tents and blankets and backpacks once a year. Of course, the food, hygiene. We give out hygiene, socks, and underwear and toilet paper every week.
It's a tall order to fill within 2 short hours once a week, but the small army of volunteers is efficient and dedicated. On this particular evening, there's even more on the schedule.
It's required once a year to do a homeless count.
The homeless count is a nationwide count that must be conducted within the last 10 days of January.
It happened to be on Thursdays, and all the homeless were at Many Helping Hands.
We choose to partner with Many Helping Hands, not only because they're a partner, but they do feed the homeless on this particular night.
So the last 4 years, the count has been more accurate for Irving because they were able to come to Many Helping Hands.
City employees and community volunteers conduct surveys on site, but there's also additional outreach.
Teams of 3 to 4 will go out to different parts of the city and do a count at where the homeless are or where they are staying the night to night.
Teams are trained at City Hall and then head to designated areas to conduct the surveys. The data collected will help in the decision-making process.
We look to see if our funds are going to the correct places. Is there more of a need that's not being met in the community, such as beds or community services? So by using this data, we know what our community needs.
Lana knows firsthand the challenges of homelessness.
Number one, self-esteem, shame, being dirty. People look at you differently because you're homeless.
And she knows it's a problem that won't be solved easily. But every meal served and every need met is one step closer.
We feed them at the table, so they have some dignity. So they call us their restaurant, and we're their family.
Lana has big goals for the organization, including a day resource center. Until then, Many Helping Hands changes lives one meal at a time.
We have people that come back even after they get apartments, just because they love the fellowship. So it's pretty amazing.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
The Irving Schools Foundation launched a new initiative in 2019, the Food for Thought program. Community response was tremendous, all to make sure that Irving kids in need don't go hungry. Here's a look back at the launch.
The grand opening of the Food for Thought markets for Irving ISD students was something very special. And anything but typical. In place of a ribbon cutting,
1, 2, 3, croissant.
There was a loaf of bread to share, signifying a community-wide effort to ensure that students in need will have access to food.
I knew we had hunger in our school district. I did not know to what extent. And I've now learned it's an epidemic. There's at least 3,500 children that we know of that we've been able to count in our city that go home every night wondering if they're going to have a meal.
On the Border Restaurant saw the need and wanted to help.
We wanted to do something locally for the community because our home office is based here in Irving.
So Tara called us. She called Olga Rosenberger actually and said, hey, my CEO is involved in No Kid Hungry and encouraged us to collect these food bags.
And we talked about kids needing food on the weekend, so we created the weekend backpacks and provides them with 2 lunches, 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners, and 2 snacks for the weekend.
That phone call was just the beginning. There are 2 locations for the Food for Thought markets, Travis Middle School and Bowie Middle School. One of the 2 locations is through this door.
All the food's all in here.
Magic happens.
There's nothing for sale in the Food for Thought markets. Every item of food was donated, and everything is available free for children in need.
A couple of local companies, we had one actually that donated 9 pallets of food to us. Another company donated 54 pallets of food to us.
Support has flooded in for the initiative.
We have received phone calls out of the blue. My friend's dad, who owns a shipping company, has donated 2 vans to us.
I could ask Crystal if she can use the vans, and Crystal's like, absolutely. I'm in, we'll take the vans.
The Irving Mall has donated 20,000 square feet of space to us for us to store all of this food. We've had churches, organizations, moms groups come to us and say, how can I volunteer? What can I do?
And that's what it will take to ensure the continued success of this critical program.
And I'll be knocking doors on my other restaurant friends in the community to get them to do the same.
I love this. You know, it's going to take the whole community and the city coming together. This just validates the reason why we do what we do, and that is for our students.
It started with a simple phone call, and from there it's the snowball effect of the community coming together to feed all of these children.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Every year, community volunteers come together to raise money for health initiatives with the Irving Baylor Scott and White Foundation. It's an important cause, but it's also a lot of fun. Here's a look back at the 40th anniversary Texas Fest, Peace, Love, Health.
The sounds of Hard Night's Day set the stage, as only the Fab Four can, for a party celebrating the Big 4-0.
A 60s vibe going on, and it is so much fun. It's Peace, Love, and Health. Texas Fest 40th edition.
It's 40 and fabulous. This is the 40th year of Texas Fest.
It's a great reason to celebrate, so that's what everybody did. It was a flashback to honor the past.
We are commemorating all the great people who have gone before as chairs back there on that record wall.
In the history of Texas Fest, how many people have done this twice? Nobody except these 2. Now I know why.
Co-chairs Craig Bowman and Cass Prince teamed up with Bob and Donna Bourgeois to create this blast to the past.
Your outfit is absolute perfection. Tell me about it.
Well, it was very easy to put together. I just got every single 60s cliche I could think of, and I threw it all on.
Hey, we were actually alive in the 60s.
The piece earrings, the belt, and the go-go boots. Woo-hoo. I don't think I left anything out.
I don't think you did.
There was a great silent auction.
We had so many items for the silent auction tonight. They kept adding table after table after table. And yes, we have a lot of items. We're hoping we'll do very well tonight.
And everybody's favorite auction-tainer, Jeff Copeland, headed up the live
in the
auction.
back now, 7.5. I'm at 500. Your doctor's here. You might ought to bid when he keeps telling you to work out. I'm at 500. Anybody able to bid? 7.5, 7.5.
And celebrity sightings? Well, yeah. Janis Joplin and John Lennon and...
What 60s icon are you this evening?
Just a typical disc jockey and record promoter from the 60s.
What makes us know that you are the typical record promoter from the 60s?
The attire. And the wig is awesome. I've never had this much hair in my life.
Cher.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people here seem to think that you're the president of the hospital. How did that happen?
I don't know how they could possibly think such a thing as that, but I do know from good authority that the hospital president is really excited about the event tonight.
She might or might not have been Cindy Shamp, but she knew what everybody was there to do.
The most important thing we're going to be doing, besides having fun, is raising money for great care at the hospital and to do more for our patients.
That's been the bottom line for Texas Fest for all of its 40 years.
This community shows up and they help their hospital.
The proceeds from this year's event will help to purchase new technology.
The Stryker Spy Elite.
We're calling it Spy Tracker, but it's a device that
we'll inject the dye,
tracks blood flow during surgery.
This is where he originally made his mark, but you see the blood flow shows about another inch of colon, and you can translate this into amputations, breast cancer.
It's going to make a huge difference. We'll be the first community hospital to have this technology, and so we are so excited. We're working as hard as we can to raise the funds. We'll raise about half of it tonight.
Since 1979, and for many years to come, Texas Fest helps keep Irving healthy, and it's a really great party.
So much fun that you're not going to remember it tomorrow.
Just like the 60s!
Exactly!
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Here are a couple of events you'll want on your calendar for 2020. Teens are invited to Lively Point on Monday, January 6th for the New Year's Cuts and Styles event. Get your back-to-school look ready from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lively Point. Elvis returns to Irving to bring a little rock and roll heaven to Carpenter Hall. Elvis, a.k.a. Irving's own Craig Parker, performs on Saturday, January 11th at 7:30 p.m., courtesy of the entertainment series of Irving. This show sells out fast, so get your tickets at 972-252-ARTS. And that wraps up this special edition of About Town, the best of 2019. Thanks for joining us and for all your support over this past year. We'll leave you tonight with a look at the Kingdom Choir in performance. They'll be returning to Irving Arts Center in 2020, so stay tuned to About Town for the details. From all of us at ICTN, we wish you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.
Tina sofa na naye kwaze kwa bonakala. Tina sofa na naye kwaze kwa bonakala. Tina sofa na naye. 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 When he comes, I shall be like him. See his face, I shall be like him. Whoa, 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 like him. When he comes, I shall be like him. See his face, I shall be like him. Whoa, 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 like him. Kwate kwa bonakala, tina sopa na naye. Kwate kwa bonakala, tina sopa na naye. 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 Kwate kwa bonakala, tina sopa na naye. Kwate kwa bonakala, tina sopa